Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
Chilly South Florida night, many looked to the sky and saw that fireball, but why was it visible from here when the rocket launched from way out in South Texas?
Yeah, a lot of people from South Florida saw the debris. First Alert meteorologist Steve McLaughlin joins us now with more, and he breaks it all down for us. How about it, Steve?
All right, good evening. And we should mention this information is very preliminary, so we're putting together maps based on what we've researched so far. So this is Brownsville, right about here, 6:30 our time, 5:30 Central Time. The rocket takes off. Now, had nothing gone wrong, this red line represents the path it would have taken. Huge altitude plus crystal clear skies, we would have likely seen it in parts of South Florida streaking across the sky. About 8 minutes into the flight, right about here, the ship is 90 miles in the air and something goes wrong. This is when we have engine failure and we lose communication from SpaceX over here. This is 6:40, so somewhere between 6:38 and 6:40, this rocket has no communication. It explodes, and that's why we can see it in parts of South Florida, the Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas. By the way, had there not been any issues, this is the track it was supposed to take, landing in the middle of the Indian Ocean about an hour later.
Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. This is your humble servant, Big Levi, and today is Noga, March 7th, 2025, and it's currently 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded. Thank you for all of you that are checking the video back. Welcome back to the nation. We've been down for a while. As you may know or may not know, we had 2 strikes upon our channel. That Storyful and a bunch of people that were intimidating us to give them money in order for us to proceed and make a video. And I want to say great glory to the mighty one. We fought them legally and we won the battle. And of course, they're going to keep doing that. So Brother Conscious Juice was the one who advised me to fight them. And he showed me how to write a counteract against them. And if anyone wants an issue, or if anyone have an issue with people that bring copyright strike to your account, I will advise you to contact beloved brother Conscious Juice. He has a YouTube channel. He will walk you through the process. And the brother, of course, have a couple of things that he sent me. I'm testing them right now, and so they're doing very well. And I will share the nation with the nation and the people what he has sent unto me, and then the results are magnificent. Now, beloved, what seems to be the issue here? What seems to be the problem? What's going on here? What is it that every time when we turn on the TV, the phone, or computers, or whatever it is, or any source of media, it is always something weird. Things are not normal anymore. It is always some unexplainable stuff. Now, as you just watch here, this fellow is explaining things, trying to explain to you. Look, you see how the explanation is very, because people are asking how this thing is launched in Texas, yet we sit in Florida, Turks and Caicos, and all over the world. How did it get there so quickly? So this is the explanation, so to speak. Now let's watch again. Okay, listen.
Chilly South Florida night, many looked to the sky and saw that fireball, but why was it visible from here when the rocket launched from way out in South Texas?
Yeah, a lot of people from...
Okay, so those are folk down there in South Florida, you know, where we at, and they are asking, wait a minute, you guys launched this thing in Texas, yet we see it in South Florida. Not only that, we saw it in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, and Turks and Caicos, and Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. What the hell? How'd you guys do this? How on earth debris travel this far? You guys launch a rocket, okay, that's supposed to follow this path, but yet it explodes. Somehow, the explosion still have power. The explosion still have proportion, so to speak, to travel the line that you guys were sending. That's like you driving a car with top speed, the car explode, and you still reach your destination. This is what you people are saying here. This is what you guys are portraying. Okay, this is what it is. All right, let's listen to this again. All right.
From South Florida saw the debris. First Alert meteorologist Steve McLaughlin joins us now with more, and he breaks it on down for us. How about it, Steve?
All right, good evening. And we should mention this information is very preliminary, so we're putting together.
Okay, so one other word, they don't know what the heck is going on. Usually they will have an expert coming over there, throw Haitian in your face. Now, well, the whole monkey flinging things is not working anymore. So now they got this meteorologist fellow, Mr. Steve McLaughlin. Yeah, cool last name. But anyway, yeah. So the fellow, is over there trying to show you. Now let's follow the path, okay?
Together maps based on what we've researched so far. So this is Brownsville, right about here, 6:30.
Okay, at the end of Texas, okay, at the tip of Texas, all right?
Our time, 5:30 Central Time, the rocket takes off. Now, had nothing gone wrong, this red line represents the path it would have taken. Huge altitude plus crystal clear skies.
So, okay, huge altitude and crystal clear sky, because there is an issue with their chemtrail, whatever they are spraying over there. It's not working the way it used to, okay? Because people can see those things, all right? Back then, they couldn't see them because the sky was too much crap in there. Now they could see them. They actually saw the portal open and this thing came out of the portal. All right, now, this dude said if everything was going right, you would have seen the rocket pass here and Turks and Caicos and stuff like that.
We would have likely seen it in parts of South Florida streaking across the sky. About 8 minutes into the flight, right about here, the ship is 90 miles in the air and something goes wrong. This is when we have engine failure and we lose communication from SpaceX over here. This is 6:40, so somewhere between 6:38 and 6:40, this rocket has no
which is 2 minutes after, okay?
communication. It explodes, and that's why we can see it in parts of South Florida, the Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas. By the way, had there not been any issues, this is the track it was supposed to take, landing in the middle of the Indian Ocean about an hour later.
Okay. All right. You see how the explanation was brief and then with no stuff and stuff like that. But anyway, the guy said,
Presents the path.
If you follow this line, okay, by the way, if you follow this line, all right, it would have go to the Kirks and Caicos and stuff like that. It did went there. You guys launched something at the tip of Texas, okay? The bottom tip, so to speak. It blew up, yet it still followed the line all the way. The people in the Caribbean saw it. So, look, if this thing, if you guys, for instance, if it was an explosion that was 90 miles up in the air, the moment it exploded, everything would have fall downward. Everything would have fall negative 90 degree below. It would have just fall like anything that you throw up, come down. This thing landed all the way in the Indian Ocean. It did pass all of that. Okay?
By the way, had there
it
not
went
been any
all
issues,
the way there
this is the track it was supposed to.
Ocean. What kind of rocket you guys are sending? This thing blew up, yet it keeps streaking across the sky. That means this is not whatever that you guys. There you go. This video is a lot better. Okay. This is not. It's not a rocket. This is a portal that opened. Okay. And then the comet, the horrible and terrible omen came in. You are under judgment. You ain't gonna get out of here. This is a lot better. Okay?
It had looked at
This is all show all fake, show off, just to show that, hey, this is footage that they play, and things
Textbook
like that.
launch for the world's most powerful rocket. But then, a little over 8 minutes into the test flight, with Starship 90 miles above the planet, it had a catastrophic failure.
Okay, listen, this is not an explosion, son. This is not an explosion. Watch this.
Oh my gosh. Again.
Okay, this is not an
Destabilized by the
explosion.
engine cutout, the rocket started to tumble.
Yes, sweetie? What is it, Cookie? Oh, that's big. You made that? All right, sweetie. Go play over there. Push it. Okay, thank you. All right. Yeah. So look at this. Look at the head of those debris. Okay, those things are flying, streaking. They are propelling, and they are not coming down. They are going vertically, not they are going horizontally, not vertically.
And then exploded with
look
fiery
at this.
debris streaking across the sky. The
Look at
second
this.
unsuccessful launch in as many months. This space scientist says the rocket is a long way from being ready to land astronauts on the moon as planned in just 2 years.
It's quite over-optimistic in many ways. It's not unusual to have consecutive failures, but I think having a reliable enough rocket to take humans into space on that timescale is really going to be a big ask, because you need to push that reliability very, very close to 100%. Here we're only up to 8 launches. That's not enough to really learn all the ins and outs of how this system is going to work, and perhaps more importantly, how it might fail.
Okay. All right. This is not an explosion like the rocket explode. Okay. Whoa. That's a portal that is open.
SpaceX had already made engineering upgrades to Starship after the failure of the test flight in
And then those things, that's the one in January. And then those things came out of it.
January. It will pore over data from the latest explosion to work out what went wrong. But Elon Musk, its founder, has been busy with his new government efficiency role in the Trump administration. Has he taken his eye off the ball?
I'm sure Elon personally will be paying more attention and getting more involved. Again, if this is not one person makes this work. This is a whole team. And the leadership of the team that I know is back at Hawthorne and SpaceX and at their test sites are some of the best engineers I know and some of the most thorough engineers I know, and I am sure they will figure it out.
Whoa.
Okay, this is not debris, man. Debris don't travel through the sky like this.
The United States wants to beat
like
China back to the moon, but Musk's mega rocket still needs to overcome enormous engineering challenges to make that happen.
Okay, that's not what that is, all right? Those are horrible and terrible omen. As we proved before, this is just a revision, okay? Challenger explosion, 1986. Challenger explosion, 1986. Oh boy. Challenger explosion, 1986. There you go. All right, so. Okay. All right. Let's take this one.
Engines throttling up, 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go with throttle up.
Roger, go with throttle up.
This is an
15
explosion.
seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9
And you see
nautical
all the
miles. Downrange
debris
distance
coming
7
down,
nautical
and
miles.
this is going down. All right. Boom. And then it's going down. All the debris. You see how it happened? Because this H was real. And you see all the debris flying, and then everything is going down. I believe CNN has a better view. Okay.
T-minus 21 seconds, and the solid rocket booster engine gimbal now underway.
Watch this.
Power.
Right? You know what? Let's watch the whole thing. Oops.
T-minus 21 seconds, and the solid rocket booster engine gimbal now underway. 6.
Okay.
We have main engine start. 4,
Stop.
3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has
So you
cleared
see
the
how
tower.
hard that thing is going
Now controlling.
with full
Challenger.
might. And then you see how it twisted because it's
Good roll
really
program confirmed.
hard to go against.
Challenger now heading down range.
What is this? Yes. Hold on, just push it.
Engine's beginning throttling down now.
All right.
At 94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%.
Okay. You see, this is how it's curving.
We'll
It's
throttle down to
really
65%
hard to
shortly.
go against gravity.
Engines at 65%. 3 engines running normally. 3 good fuel cells. 3 good APUs.
Now watch the explosion.
Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles.
Again, this is live on CNN, man. And every time, you know, these things used to happen, the entire country, the entire world is watching those guys doing this shit not live. Now, they don't do anything live. You just heard about, oh, Elon has a, you know, they were launching something today. Like, wait a minute. You guys used to do those things live and let everybody know what the hell is going on, okay?
Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning, it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
Okay. That's an
15
explosion.
seconds. Velocity
You
2,900
see how
feet per second.
quickly
Altitude.
the fire just stopped? It's all you see smoke. Because when you reach this altitude, the air literally snuff the fire out because the air is too thin in there. Okay.
9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
That the debris coming down. All right. That's the debris coming down. All right. See how it's going vertically down. Okay, it's going down, not shrieking to the sky for miles and miles, thousands of miles. That's not what that is.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
You see how it's coming down? You see how everything is going
Flight controllers
down.
here looking very carefully at the situation.
Right?
Obviously a major malfunction.
Everything is going down. Not shrieking with full speed as
We
if
have
the
no
rocket
downlink.
was still going on. Okay, you see how it's falling down? Okay. It's falling down. So that was a huge tragedy back then. So now you people are coming with this garbage, okay? And then you try to tell the people that, you know, that's what that is, and it's Elon and testing things and stuff like that and stuff. Okay, now there's a video by Dabu7. He just is it this one? Alright, this is the video by Dabu7, okay?
This is Dabu7. I want to share with you guys here some footage of this SpaceX explosion and some really weird anomalies around it. Call them UFOs, UAPs. Everyone on the ground had witnessed this. I was wondering if you guys had seen something similar. Now, here's a secondary clip, and this was caught down near Miami. And you can see the object coming into frame here, but there are all kinds of smaller objects that pop up in the sky around it. And this is what's raising the question. Were there UFOs, UAPs surrounding this right before it blew up? If so, we need to know. We need to know what caused this to come down and what we're.
Okay, if I don't get this. I don't get the whole thing with Elon Musk and his brother have drone in the sky doing all those light. Now Elon, he SpaceX launch up the thing in there, and then his brother use his drone and shoot this thing down. I don't understand elites of shooting things up and then shoot them down. What's the purpose of doing that? What is it? I don't understand here.
Were these objects? How could they have been so close to it in the sky? Watch here as I put this into motion. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. I'm going to play it again. You can see them lighting up. What are these objects? Mystery objects, UFOs, UAPs, all around the SpaceX flight before it blew up. Moments later, this is what they witnessed.
Okay, this is not debris, man. This is not debris. That's not what that is.
You guys tell me, did you witness anything? Let me know. This was a crazy one. Crazy objects in the frames. Let me know in the comments. This has been Dabu7, Eyes to the Skies.
All right, well, my daughter's watching SpongeBob, and it's gonna be loud. So, yeah. So, what the hell is this? What the hell is that? Like, you guys are okay. Well, Elon, he's shooting things, and other elite are shooting stuff down. What's going on here? What seems to be the issue? What seems to be the problem? You know, what is it that every time you guys trying to do something, somebody always come in, rain on your parade or something like that? Huh? Ah, crap. Well, the thing is, like, you guys are no longer in control. The blessing is over. The so-called elites are not doing this. You guys are not in control. This has, whoops. Oh. You guys are not in control. This has nothing to do with you. In fact, the elites or the so-called millionaire billionaires that were in Palisades, all the houses are burned down. The reason why you're seeing all those things going on left and right around the world because the blessing is over. Let's go to Palisade now. Okay, this is the footage. Oh, video is private. Why did they put the video private? Ah, man. Ah. Why did they put the video private? See, I didn't have time to do this. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's watch this instead.
When it comes to the next big wildfire, it's not a matter of if, but when, and it pays to be prepared. And we spoke with a fire expert who teaches homeowners how to harden their house against a fast-moving fire. And trained experts can help you protect your home, too, for free, giving your house the best chance of withstanding the flames if worst comes to worst.
Our David Lazarus has more on how you can be part of a fire-wise community.
We just want everyone to know that you as a homeowner can do this.
No home is fireproof, but Stephen Germont's home in Topanga Canyon is close.
There was a wooden deck here before. Now that has been removed. It's all concrete.
Okay. So now you got all those millionaires, billionaires that go live off-grid in these areas because the city is going to be destroyed, and then the plague won't find them. Come to find out, well, Palisade burned down. I was going to profile the video, but they put the video private. So now those people are removing the woods and the house and put concrete as if that's going to stop the holy power. That's going to stop the supernatural fire. By changing your wood and put concrete, and you're going to escape this. Just like you people thought, we just get out of the city and go off grid. The city going to be destroyed in 2020. The Russian gonna come and invade China, North Korea, the so-called UN, and then All those military come over there. Well, you got because that's where they're gonna drop the bomb, ICBM, nuclear thing. They're gonna drop it in the city. So the city, get out, get out, get out. And black folk lose their goddamn mind. They fled too because they see white people are running because white folks know things. They know what's gonna come, so they run too. I see people selling their house. People break their lease so they can live off grid because they want to survive this. I personally, I don't need to go anywhere. Hell, I would love a little house off grid, man. I would love some land off grid, just chill there. If one of you have a land there, you want to pass it on to Big Levi and then a house off grid, I would love that. Once in a while, I go off there to decompress. But I ain't gonna run, man. I ain't gonna run. That's all I've been doing all my life is running. Running because I was being chased. Now, I do the chase.
10 years ago, Stephen and his wife Nancy decided to harden their home against wildfires. That is, they wanted to give it a fighting chance against any flames.
And it's not a house, it's home.
Beth Burnham, now with Firewise USA, did what's known as a home ignition zone evaluation. That's a free exam to see how vulnerable a home and nearby landscaping are to wildfires, and to outline steps to make it safer.
There's a lot of things you can do, and it's really hard to learn by yourself what to do, which is where Firewise steps in because it can help guide you and your community.
Topanga is one of more than 1,100 Firewise communities in California, and the numbers are rapidly growing.
We started at that 5 feet from the house with vegetation that is not combustible.
Stephen and Nancy also put in metal rain gutters, covered their vents with tighter mesh to stop burning embers from entering the home, and even created this fire break made of decomposed granite. When the Palisades fire approached their home in January, firefighters told them their defensible space and steps they'd taken to harden the residents made all the difference. So what does it take to be a Firewise community like Topanga?
If you get up on your roof and you clean your gutters, the time you spend doing that counts. If you put mesh on your vents, the money you spend and the time, that all counts.
Look, people, you are not gonna get away. This is very hard for you folks to understand. This is not something you can escape. Yay, you will try all those tricks and tips and things like that, but they ain't gonna work. Because why? This is something that was ordained by the Holy One, which is fiery conflagration of the cities plague, the second plague of the apocalypse of Abraham. You cannot escape this. And people saw the damage that was done in Palisade, where the billionaires, they have all their homes in places there. It burned to the ground. They weren't doing this. Oh, that's some land grab. The rich are doing land grab by leaving the ghetto alone, by leaving our people alone in the hood. Because remember a few years ago, you hear this word, gentrification. Oh, they try to gentrify the hood. They try to you know what you need to gentrify a place? You need numbers. And those people do not have numbers. What did they do? In 2021, around that time, they brought a bunch of those so-called migrants here. And the reason why they brought them here wasn't because they just get here on their own. They were so strong, they crossed the border, they do this. No. They brought them to padded their numbers. One. Second, they brought them so they can walk over our people. Do the same bull that they were doing and blacking. Make sure that we don't get the job. Make sure we are always down. And what happened? Most of them that came here, they suck up the rest of the blessing. They suck up so much money. A hell of a lot of them didn't work. A lot of them came here poor. They gladly went back to the country millionaires. They stole a lot of money from a lot of people that thought like they were going to follow the rule and move in the hood and then act like in the hood and get a little job and cleaning and then stay over there with our people, act like we're the same. No, they moved to the richest white neighborhood and then they swagger jack the whole thing. And then now you guys have no use for them and then you're sending them back. You cannot escape this. This is unescapable. As today is March 7th, our new year is approaching. more and more and more stuff are coming. And it's going to be on steroid. I truly believe we are on the verge of hitting the high point, the zenith, the apex. And those little Nini Sherry thing you're doing out there, it won't work.
It's all about the community effort.
Herd immunity is a great image. Once one house ignites on fire, the fire now has moved from being a wildland fire to an urban fire. And then it's a lot easier for that fire to move from house to house.
One of the upsides of being Firewise, other than having a home to return to after a wildfire, is that by law, you qualify.
This dude's name is David Lazarus.
One of the upsides of being Firewise, other than having a home to return to after.
His name is David Lazarus, you know.
After a wildfire, is that by law, you qualify for a discount on your insurance rates. But being in a Firewise community is no guarantee your home will survive.
Legs of the dining room table.
Ramsey Eldib's Malibu home burned to the ground in the Palisades fire.
We had a game cam on that air conditioner pointing that way, and you could see from midnight to 7 a.m. the embers just, it's like a snowstorm.
His Rambla Pacifico community was recognized as Firewise, but it was just ramping up.
You know, 50, 60 mile per hour wind is like a blowtorch.
You cannot fight this. You cannot fight 50, 60 miles an hour. I don't care what your house was. I don't care if your house is made out of water. You can't fight that. And now, as you can see, those elites and millionaires and billionaires having their home burned down. People are like, well, they are millionaires. They got money. They can rebuild. Oh, really? Rebuild? Where? This phrase used to be quite common in the midst of those people when things like that happen. We will rebuild. We are strong. We are strong. We will rebuild, because they had insurance. In fact, some of them were happy, like, God damn, thank you. My house burned down. How about this house, like, for $400,000 or $500,000? I got a $10 million insurance on it. You know, it's insurance, and I'm gonna build a better house and keep the rest. Well, now all those insurances, they left. And I see black folk are losing their freaking mind. Why did the insurance left, man? Why did they left? Because they did this. They left. They left, and they know this fire was going to happen. That's why they left. Our people over there. You guys need to shut the hell up, man. You know, you guys are embarrassing yourself. You blassos, glassos, and all the other assholes out there. You guys need to shut the hell up and then get out of the way, man. You think those so-called rich people do give a crap about you giving your opinion on something that didn't happen to you? I don't care. Let's keep on moving. As you can see, plague number 2, a lot of fires.
Community, every house is gone on this road.
Back in Topanga, Richard Brody is trying to avoid that same fate. On this day, his century-old home is getting a free home ignition zone evaluation from the Resource Conservation District of the Santa Monica Mountains.
You have an open space underneath your deck here, and it can ignite the deck.
Trained evaluator Diana Doroteo recommends that Brody close that space off with a screen.
So you do have some open gaps around the door frame.
Add more weather stripping. Move this propane tank away from the tool shed and clear the oak mulch from within 5 feet of the house.
His vents had the right mesh screening, which is really good. That's the number one thing that homeowners should focus on.
For Brody, it's all about the small steps he can take before the next wildfire.
I wouldn't live anywhere else. It's the price we pay to live in paradise.
David Lazarus, Kate.
Thank you. This is the price we pay to live in hell. Let's keep on moving.
And we are staying on top of the big breaking news this morning. We've been all over it. Multiple yachts bursting into flames overnight. Our Morgan Reiner, she has been on this scene for us all morning long. She's live there once again with an update. Hey, Morgan.
Those are yachts. Multiple yacht burst into flames in northwest Miami like 7 hours ago. And this keep on happening. Okay, let's watch.
Hey, good morning. So in the last 30 minutes since I was last with you, they actually sprayed the boats down with foam. That is what you're seeing on top of the water right now, just that layer of foam, because as you saw in the last hit, there was smoke emanating from the boat again, and you'll continue to see that foam just a little bit further down to the left as well, where the other two boats are. That layer of foam in the middle is actually sitting over where another boat was, a 60-foot yacht. That one is completely under the water at this point, and then to the left you'll see the front part of the third yacht that caught on fire. And if you follow me over here, this glass on the floor is part of the reason why. An employee who works here at this marina across the water says that around 3:30 this morning he heard an explosion on the middle boat. The middle boat is the one that exploded, and then subsequently the two boats on either side caught on fire. Now I do want to take you to video that employee here at this marina took earlier this morning, where you can see all three yachts are on fire at the same time. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue said and confirmed that the call came in around 3:30 this morning. They had about 30 different units respond to this fire.
So you got millionaires, billionaires, their yacht all caught on fire, and you will find some douchebag online who try to make this about black folk, like black people. They are burning black folk yacht, okay? Or well, those guys are doing this on purpose because they want insurance money. Okay, all right then.
And it is under control at this hour. Thankfully, there were no reported injuries, but the cause of the explosion, the cause of the fire, is still under investigation. Now, back out here live, what you're looking at around the foam is actually a barrier meant to stop any debris from floating down the river and also stop any oil from spilling further down the river as well. We will continue to stay out here.
Plague number 2, fiery conflagration of the cities. Again, why is this happening? What's going on? Why the so-called the elites or why the so-called the elites are having a hard time? Well, it is because this, Genesis 15 verse 13, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Yes, indeed, 1619, 2019, the 400 years was over. And from 2020 till now, all you see is nothing but madness, calamity, trouble. And it's hitting a very specific group of people. Those people had 4 years since 2020 to 2024 to pack up their hish, to make their mea culpa, but they didn't. They move upon our people, they double down, and they come up with garbage. They elected their dude again, okay, Sir Trump. He is back, talking about I'm back and stuff like that. No, but what's the difference? You back. No, Trump is back. What's the difference right now? What is it that has improved? With the same people that you bought, you literally, the immigration improved. Oh, you mean all those people you allow to get here, you brought them here. You have billionaires paying for the bus ride and ship them to Chicago and New York and places where our people were abundantly there just so they can swagger jack our folk and taking their stuff and things like that. Your plan backfired on you. Big time. Your plan backfired big time. So now you don't know what to do. You folks used to be very good at lying. Now everything is just sloppy. Okay, so now Genesis 15 verse 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And that's why you see the 10 plagues of the apocalypse of Abraham is in the midst. All right, you can see the fiery conflagration. The fire is pretty much everywhere. We got a wildfire in South Carolina, wildfire in North Carolina, wildfire in Georgia, wildfire in East Tennessee, wildfire in Mexico, wildfire in New Mexico, wildfire in Texas. Okay, you see all these things: destruction by pestilence among the cattle, famine of the world, Gentile rules, destruction by earthquake and the sword, increase of hail and snow, wild beasts will be their grave. All those things, they are manifesting as we are seeing it right now. People are acting as if all those things are happening is the men are in charge. Men are trying to scare us. Oh, it's the elite. We don't hear the word Illuminati anymore. It's the elite, the Illuminati, the establishment trying to scare the average citizen because they want to take your land. And then on the other corner of your mouth, you say, well, the elite and the Illuminati, they own all the land. They own everything. They own your electricity. They own your gas. They own your TV. They own your internet. They own your school system. And then yet they want to infiltrate those school systems so they can indoctrinate you. They own your job. They own this, yet they want to fire you from this job. They own the house, the mortgages, all the stuff, yet they are increasing the price of your rent or whatever. Or the elite, they control everything, yet they are putting those 5G towers out there so they can control you. Oh, the elite, they control everything, yet they are putting stuff in your food so they can control you. Which one is it? You people are acting those so-called elites are like some kind of god being, some kind of like supernatural being that have all the power in the world, and we as the children of the light, we have nothing. You guys make it seems that the so-called the elites are more powerful than the Most High. They are untouchable because they can go around and do whatever the hell they want. Nobody gonna say anything. Nobody going to call them out. Nobody going to say, hey, you're gonna have to pay. You guys make it seem like those elites are immortal. They created human being. They created us. They created themselves. They created the Most High, some kind of fake God they can use to do some bull. I don't know, man. You people look at the so-called the elite to a higher pedestal, or some kind of like, you know, supernatural, superhero degree. Well, in fact, they are not. Remember that verse in the good book that said the only one will put the base of men, the lowest form of men, the most stupidest, the most backward of all, they put it on top of us. So when you look at the stupidest, the most backward, and you consider them to be smart, what does that say about you? All right, so this is what's going on out there. Again, beloved, the same thing is happening. Forgive me, I'm getting sleepy. What time is it? Oh, good Lord! All right, let's take a little break right quick. I'm falling asleep. I've been playing with my daughter lately.
The 8K family.
Have you ever felt a deep yearning for spiritual growth but didn't know where to start? What if I told you there's a guide that can lead you through every step? Introducing the 8K Family Handbook. This comprehensive guide is your ultimate companion for spiritual empowerment, offering invaluable insights and practical steps to enhance your spiritual journey. What's inside? Perform spiritual background checks. Learn how to assess spiritual energies and protect yourself from negative influences. Connect with your guardian angel. Discover methods to establish a strong, supportive relationship with your guardian angel for guidance and protection. Develop your magical abilities. Unleash your innate magical potential with step-by-step instructions and exercises tailored for all levels. Whether you're a novice or a seasoned practitioner, the 8K Family Handbook provides the tools and knowledge you need to elevate your spiritual practice. Begin your journey to empowerment and enlightenment today. Available now on Amazon.com.
All right, like I said, I'm getting very sleepy, and I don't want to fall asleep and then and do the same thing that I did the other day. I was talking out of my ass, so I didn't know what was going on. Oh boy, all right, let's move it. Let's move it. I'm still good. I'm still good. All right, we are about barely halfway through these things. Let's keep on moving.
Well, looks like several drivers weren't prepared for all the snow and ice in the San Bernardino Mountains.
So the CHP said,
well, I was gonna show something concerning the yak fire, those yak fires. Okay, there was a rapper. Rapper rent yacht fire in Miami. Okay. Okay. So that was a rapper a couple of months ago. Okay. Large yacht consumed by flame. Wild dog behind Miami strip club. Travis Scott. There was a. Oh boy. I forgot the one. So anyway, let's play the video.
Well, looks like several drivers weren't prepared for all the snow and ice in the San Bernardino Mountains.
So the CHP says they got multiple calls for help from drivers. NBC4's Karma Dickerson is live along Highway 18 near Crestline. So, Karma, tell us what happened. How was it for you guys to get up there this morning?
It was a little rough, a little treacherous, a little bit of black ice, definitely some limited visibility, some periods of very heavy fog. The good news is the snow wasn't coming down, so we didn't have that to combat. Nevertheless, we still have chain control in effect where we are right now, just south of Crestline. So it's something people should certainly be aware of. You're going to be greeted with some blinking lights. You'll have Caltrans and CHP to keep you company and make sure that you are all suited up and ready to head up this mountain, because last night, as people were trying to do it, it created quite the mess. Take a look at what was going on here along Highway 18. There were people that were spinning out, people getting stuck, and some people just ultimately abandoned those cars, not having a lot of other options. CHP estimated there were at least 18 cars that were left behind as people tried to make their way, because of course this was happening at about 4 p.m., which is the evening commute. People were heading.
Again, do you really believe the so-called elite or whoever is on charge, they like inconvenience? You think they love things like that? You think they will just have things going on and messing with the schedule, messing with the blessing? They get caught up and trapped in things like that. You think they love fish like that? No, they don't. And they are not doing this. This is not something those people are, well, controlling. They cannot control the weather. They don't have that technology. If you can control the weather, then you can control nature. If you can control nature, you can control us. If you can control us, then you can control the Most High Almighty. And if you can control Most High Almighty, you can control all the universe and all reality. You can control Hish. You barely can control your bowel movement right now when you hear that the 400 years is over and your blessing is done. Those people cannot control the weather. They cannot control the sea. They cannot control the hurricanes. They cannot control nothing. They barely can control the way they lie. Let's keep on moving.
Back up the mountain, and they were dealing with some heavy snow that had come upon them, so some pretty treacherous conditions over the course of the night. Good news is it looks like things have calmed down substantially, and you do have the officials trying to make sure that people are equipped to head up the mountain, and they've got either that four-wheel drive or they have the appropriate tires or chains to make sure as they head up. So right now we've been seeing fairly calm conditions, especially as the light is starting to come up, so it's making it a little bit calmer as we head out up the mountain. So hopefully people will have a better drive up. But keep in mind, there's still very low visibility. There were times where the fog was so heavy, I was barely moving along at 10 miles an hour just to make sure I was safe getting up those roads. Got into a little bit of a tricky situation with some black ice. I don't want them to happen to anybody else. So make sure that we're being nice and careful and giving yourself a lot of extra time.
So then again, whenever things like that happen, they always send people that look like us, in this horrible condition. But anyway, let's keep on moving.
People in a city in South Korea are lucky to be alive after 8 bombs were dropped in civilian territory during a military exercise. It happened in Pocheon, which sits on the heavily militarized border with North Korea. Officials say South Korean and American air forces were conducting a joint live fire exercise when Korean jets accidentally released the bombs. More than a dozen people have been reported injured, and some homes were destroyed. Residents say they are in disbelief. Well, I heard the sound of shelling often as I live near the military base, so I wasn't really surprised, but I felt nervous about the shell falling down so nearby. I've lived here for nearly 30 years, and this is the first time that something like this has happened.
So you guys accidentally dropped 8 bombs. 2 fighter jets, okay? The first one dropped 4 and the second one dropped 4 on a civilian place, okay? You accidentally did that. What time is it? Yeah. You what was I talking about? Boy, I'm hungry. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. You accidentally dropped 8 bombs, 4 each. It was an accident. Okay. What you say? Whatever you say, son.
The South Korean government has apologized for the error, and authorities said they would cease any live fire exercises until they figure out how a mistake like this could have happened. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Big Lots and Party City haven't even wrapped up their store closing sales, but already 2 other major chains are starting to close hundreds of stores. Add Forever 21 and Jo-Ann Fabrics to the list of chains slashing their store count. Jo-Ann, as it's now known, is closing all physical stores after filing bankruptcy and will operate only online. Forever 21, meantime, is closing as many as 200 of its 350 stores, Bloomberg News says. They followed the liquidation of Big Lots and Party City, which are now in the final weeks of their closing sales. Many shoppers are lamenting the losses.
We would shop here a lot. My grandpa shopped here a lot. So. I hate it because I like this place.
But in the weeks ahead, they'll have fewer options for finding those discount goods. But from the Does That Stink file, what's killing so many retailers? Cheap online shopping. Now, direct from China sites Temu and Shein are selling fast fashion cheap, making it almost impossible for mall stores like Forever 21 to compete with their high rent and overhead.
Oh boy, what a bunch of load of the things. This has nothing to do with Temu or cheap Chinese, whatever. You people refuse to tell the truth. The blessing is over. China is not doing great either. The blessing is done. The reason why all those major retailers are closing because there ain't no more money going around. You guys never actually make your profit and selling clothes and things like that. Those were already money and profit that our ancestors already generated for you folks. Money that you stole, you were passing on in the midst of you on a form of paychecks and bond and stocks and bonds, dividends, whatever you want to call it. That's what people were doing. But now you're no longer under the blessing. The curses are cleaving unto you, and you're blaming Temu or cheap online stuff. That has nothing to do with cheap online stuff, man. It has everything to do with your time is over, and get the hell of all on in. That's all.
And that means it's harder and harder to wander stores looking for bargain fashion or to get crafts to make a project. Finally, if you have a gift card to any store that appears to be in trouble, use it as soon as possible. You never know how long they'll be around. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries, KHOU 11 News.
And that's all. Let's keep on moving.
Caitlin
Caitlin Hunt here in Cleveland Heights, where they're about ready to tow off a bus after it caught fire earlier this morning. This is Northampton and Cambridge Road. Crews are still here as they're trying to figure out what exactly happened to this bus. We do know no one was injured in this bus fire. Kids were on the bus, but they were evacuated by their bus driver. As you can see, it's just charred to bits. The windows broken. You can see all the windows are busted out as well. We have some incredible video with what looks like flames were just bursting through this bus. We talked to one neighbor who just heard about a loud boom, looked out her window and saw the fire and made a call to 911. Again, there were no injuries. Kids were transported to school safely, but
of course, when we talk about this, we said the fire is going to be everywhere. They're going to be in the school, in the airport, the hospital, everywhere. For no reason, fire is going to start. And the problem is, you folks always find a way to explain things as if it was an accident. Certain of those things, definitely they were not accident. Okay, this happened in the same week where that airplane thing caught on fire a few days ago and fell out the sky. The FedEx airplane and stuff like that.
we're still working to find out what exactly happened and what caused this fire, but you can just be assured that here at News 5 we'll follow through and give you that information when we have it available. In Cleveland Heights, Caitlin Hunt, News 5.
All right, let's keep on moving.
Her with
okay, there we go. Now we are getting into the tornadoes. Okay, listen. A few years ago, there were a tornado that happened in Bowling, somewhere in Kansas, Oklahoma. I'm not quite sure. It's called Bowling. The place is called Rollings or Bowlings. The tornado was so bad, it was so nasty, that the people, when they were, I believe this happened in 2021, and when they were interviewed the guy, he had a house in 2018 that another another tornado had devastated. So when they asked him, when he got hit in 2021, and he said something to that effect, I'm not quite sure I fully remember what it was. He said, I don't know what's going on. Every time we build, and these tornadoes came back and hit us, it seems they love this area. Do they love my neighborhood? And he was talking to the news anchor, and he said, I haven't even finished recovering from the one that happened 2 or 3 years ago. And then now, when the house was almost done, in fact, the guy said the house is pretty much done building. All he had to do is wait on the inspector to come and then do the regular typical inspection and clear him off. And then bam, the tornadoes happened. And during that time, we were telling the people worldwide that, hey man, this is going to happen again. It's going to keep happening until it breaks you. But people were like, well, we will rebuild. We will rebuild. We got money. We got this. We got that. Okay. Well, today, there it goes again.
Well, people in Ada woke up to tornado sirens today. One woman hearing them just seconds before losing her home.
And only on 5, KOCO's Elise Jones walked through the damage hours after that tornado struck.
Emily Quigley was asleep here on her couch when the sirens sounded and the power flickered. She stood up and in a matter of seconds, her roof caved in.
Yeah, they say it sounds like a freight train, and it sounds just like a freight train.
Shattering and shrieking noises.
Just running from my couch into the staircase felt like ages, and hearing them yell for me and bang on my door.
Followed by silence.
It's crazy looking at it from this way. It's
This building has stood on Mississippi Street since 1947 and holds hundreds of memories for Emily.
My first place on my own.
And the dozens who've lived here before her.
And I talked to an older gentleman a while ago, said he lived here until he was drafted for Vietnam.
But Tuesday morning,
Emily's life changed in a way. That's the thing. You see, those people, they used to live there when they were in the blessing and nothing really happened to them. And then now this new generation, you came in, you try to, well, adjusted yourself so you can live the blessing like the others did, and then there you go, you're left holding the bag. This older gentleman, you know, he lived in that place and things never really happened to him, and then now you came in and then tried to do this thing, and then bam.
She never expected.
It's a cliche, it'll never happen to me, and then it happens to you.
Exactly.
She walked us through her home hours after the tornado hit. The inside like a snow globe covered in insulation.
My bedroom probably got the worst of it. Still just kind of getting flashbacks. It was so scary in the moment that I didn't realize just how bad, how loud it was, how much stuff was flying around.
And while it's too soon to know what's next, she says the community has already rallied around her, overwhelming her with support.
Like, it hurts. I work hard for the things that I have. I've been given a lot of great gifts over the years, a lot of great decorations that have, you know, a lot of value to me, and just to have to take the loss and give it up to no fault of my own or anybody else's own, it's hard to process.
In Ada, Elise Jones, KOCO 5 News.
The city of Ada has given us an update. They say one person was injured and that 24 families have been forced out of their homes. Emergency crews.
Okay, I like this word they use. 24 families, displaced and forced out of their home. Okay, what you're going to have here, beloved, you're going to have these people. Of course, they're being removed from the land, and then they are being removed from the houses. Those 24 families, they are now homeless. Remember, the so-called American, they have a vendetta against homelessness, so to speak. Okay, which is it's not homeless, it's houseless. A home and a house is the two different things. Okay, a house is any building you can just sleep in there. They have bed and anything. A hotel is a house, everything. A hotel can be a home too if you own a piece of it. A home is something that is on your heart. This is where you have memories. You were born there. When you won't understand what a home is until you left and you go to another place where that place that you were not comfortable. You were in a horrible position and you can't wait to get home. And once you get home, you're like, it's good to be home. There's no place like home. You can go in your room, you go to your house and do whatever you want, and then nobody, can tell you anything comparing to whatever place that you were, which was a house. So when they say those families are forced out of their home, they're forced out of their memories. They are forced out of the blessing. And those people now are houseless and they are now homeless, like the folks over there in North Carolina, Asheville. So Asheville is completely forgotten. All right, so let's keep on moving.
We'll work through the night tonight. They're going to continue to assess the damage, get the roads open. They do want to make sure services can get access to where they're needed. And law enforcement has added extra patrols. They did it today and tonight. They are asking people in the area to stay home if they can.
And tonight, Congressman Tom Cole says he's monitoring the situation there in Ada. In a statement sent to KOCO, Cole says in part, quote, "My thoughts are with those who have been affected by the severe weather that swept through Ada last night. I would also like to thank the emergency crews and first responders." He says he'll help make sure whatever assistance is necessary will be made available.
Okay, so again, beloved, this is all tragedy. Look at this. Ada business continue clean up after tornado. The city of Ada begins clean up. After wildfire, all power line in Pacific Palisades to move underground. Felt like ages. Woman did tell that there was the other woman. It is possible to fireproof your home. I think we just watched that. So what is this? Trump raids will now target migrant families who enter the U.S. with NBC, CBS? With what? I don't.
Well, the Trump administration.
with enter the U.S. with their children. You could have put this there, but
her
yeah,
with
it's a lot. It's
Like,
a
it
lot.
hurts.
Let's keep it moving.
broken glass and furniture.
I think that's the same one, right?
Yeah, Evan and Jess, we're on Main Street in Ada right now, where businesses are boarding up their windows, picking up debris, really just all that damage. Other businesses like this one completely collapsed. Now, while the damage looks like this all across town, it didn't take long for the community to come together to help clean up.
This is the another garbage that you people always said. Well, the community come together and the community band it up. We need to clean the communities, this and that. Again, the reason why you keep saying all those community and stuff, some of you have insurance. Okay, you realize some of you are doing this thing because you want to freaking secretly looting the place. Okay, some of you like, hey, I'll help you get rid of those debris that fell in that Bank of America or Wells Fargo or whatever. Let me clean this business and stuff. I can see some huge piece of the wall fell onto this ATM, crack it open, but nobody else see that. I'll help you with that because the people see some form of advantage in there. If there weren't no advantage and then you weren't getting any benefit from it, this is not something you would have get for free, or there's some kind of huge thing you could have gained in it. You can't gain in it, you will help, but if not, I ain't got time for this.
Beyond the caution tape blocking downtown businesses, devastation, sunken ceiling tiles, broken glass and furniture, insulation covering the floor, and just a few blocks away, an elementary school's roof ripped off. Those at East Central University say it happened within minutes.
About 5 a.m., heard sirens, seen the rain.
When the sun came up, they saw the damage.
The rooftops hanging off, just trash cans flying everywhere.
And they immediately turned to help. Hundreds of college athletes.
And then that's the thing. And anytime you hear this garbage, we need to come together, the community come together, show black people so you guys can come together and not pray. We come together. We need to come together. We're about to come together. We did come together and stuff like that. Try to get our people to come over and do this garbage.
Athletes filling the streets, picking up trash and helping those in need.
We just walked around, picked up as much trash as we could, and tried.
Danielle 12-1.
To bring smiles to the people in the community.
For some, it was the Oklahoma standard they've grown up with.
Back home, we had a couple bad storms that we all pitched in,
And for others not from Oklahoma.
I'm not used to tornadoes or any super crazy weather like this, so it's different to see it, but it feels good to get out and be able to help and clean up and take care of trash and make the community look a little better.
To be able to uplift them because, it's not about us, right? This is an opportunity to come together, rebuild, and shape through this devastation.
There you go. There you go. Put the blast all over there. This is an opportunity for us to come together, rebuild, because it's not about me, it's not about you, it's all about all of us show love and the same old tired, played out card game. And it ain't gonna work.
Now, we're told that there's a command center set up for those in need of resources at the Pontotoc County Agriplex. In Ada, Elise Jones, KO.
Severe weather is threatening the southern United States, affecting everything from flights in Texas to Mardi Gras celebrations in Louisiana.
Again, we watched earlier on where those people were still celebrating their Mardi Gras. Okay, they were still celebrating it. They really didn't care. They don't care. The wind was blowing 50, 60, 80 miles an hour. They were partying. They don't care.
National Weather Service confirmed that a powerful tornado touched down early this morning in Ada, Oklahoma, about 90 miles south of Oklahoma City. CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca has the latest. Omar?
It's not quite spring, but the spring weather is already here. We are in Ada, Oklahoma, and last night a storm blew through, and you can see some of the damage it left behind. Let me show you more of the damage that we're seeing here in Ada. Now, the National Weather Service says preliminary reports say this was an EF1 tornado, wind speeds 100, 105 miles an hour. This used to be a furniture store, but you can see bricks knocked down, the roof is gone, things were blown out that way, things were headed that way. You can see some debris back there up in the tree. Gives you an idea of how powerful this wind was. Again, the preliminary report from the National Weather Service says this was on the ground for maybe less than 4 miles, about 3.7 miles. Good news is nobody was really here. This happened at about 5 in the morning, was on the ground less than 5 minutes. But this is the kind of damage that spring storms can do, even though it's not quite spring here. Good news, no one was killed. We've heard reports of 1 minor injury, and the people here are already starting to pick up. We're going to continue surveying the damage.
So you got those businesses, man, with the tariff and things like that. How are they going to rebuild? You know, how are they going to rebuild? Like, when they're going to rebuild? Because it's not going to be cheap. You know, whether if you have insurance or not, it's not going to be cheap. Okay, so the blessing is done. Move along.
Heavy rain has wreaked havoc.
Okay, this is in Spain. All right. This is in Canary Island. All right. Now watch the back of this car. You see what it says? Funeralia Angelis. Okay, which mean funeral, angelic funeral, Los Angeles, Funeralia Los Angeles. So you can't make this up. You got this black car that I'm assuming which is a hearse over there in Spain. You know, the name of the angel is behind, and that's another way that the angels are communicating with us. Say they are doing this. Okay, they are doing that. You know, Funeraria Los Angeles. Funeral or funeral home, the angel's funeral home, but the angel of death, that's what that means. Okay, the black van and the black.
A ver, hostia, el coche, ma. El coche se está yendo.
Mira, se está yendo, se está yendo. Pop. Se nos fue.
Spain is in chaos. Cars are floating down the streets, entire towns are underwater, and emergency teams are scrambling to rescue people trapped in their homes and vehicles.
This is no joke. Okay, this is no joke. So
for those displaced by the floods, while cleanup crews are working tirelessly to.
And last year we had the same thing happen in Valencia, and we told those people, Spain, you are not out of the water, and you're never gonna get out of it. This water going to drown you. This water going to kill you. That is the truth. And they didn't listen. There you go.
Clear debris.
Let's keep on moving, beloved, okay?
Floor.
This is Indonesia, all right? This happened 4 days ago, all right? Okay, the entire world, look at this. This isn't normal at all, man. Okay?
Torrential rains have turned Jakarta into a city of waterways, with floods engulfing Indonesia's capital and its surrounding regions. In Bekasi, just east of Jakarta, entire neighborhoods lie submerged under meters of water. Thousands of people have been forced to seek refuge on their rooftops since Tuesday morning, waiting for rescue.
The floods this time came pretty fast, and we were not able to salvage our stuff, especially in my shops. And all my belongings at home are gone. Maybe it's a warning from God.
At around 3 in the morning, water from the river overflowed from the embankment near my home. The water came in fast. In 45 minutes, it reached my second floor.
An evacuation operation is now underway, with emergency services sending rubber boats throughout the flooded districts. Hundreds of rescue crews are working to reach those still stranded.
We were already taking refuge on the second floor, but around 3 a.m. water came in from the tiles. We went to the balcony, got to the highest part of the house and waited. We were rescued at 10 in the morning.
With roads completely cut off, some desperate residents have resorted to swimming through contaminated waters to reach safety. For many, the wait continues. Officials say the flooding has affected more than 1,000 homes across Jakarta and its satellite cities. Those rescued are being transferred to temporary shelters, which are already housing hundreds of displaced families.
We are working together, the military, police, National Disaster Agency. We have around 350 joint personnel in this area and 30 rubber boats going around for evacuation.
Authorities say this could be the worst flooding to hit the Jakarta region since 2020, when a similar disaster killed 60 people.
Again, we had made a issue of trouble with Wildfire that we keep telling them it's going to keep happening every year. It's going to keep happening until all of you are no more. People always like, okay, well, we'll rebuild, so we are resilient, strong people. No, you are resilient and strong people because you are under the blessing. That's why I always thought like that. Once the real stress hits you, man, once you see that there is nowhere out, not only that, you see that your life is in danger. So, I don't know if I fell asleep or if I jumped just something. Your life is in danger, so you're gonna move somewhere. But anyway, that's what happened.
With heavy rainfall forecast to continue for several more.
Those are roof, man. Okay, those are roof. Whatever inside of it. That's it.
Days, officials warn the situation could deteriorate further. Axel Zamovich, Al Jazeera.
All right.
At least 2 people are dead and several injured after a suspected car ramming in Germany. This CCTV video shows the car speeding down the street in Mannheim city center where it slammed into a crowd. Now police say one suspect is under arrest as a major police operation is underway. Let's bring in ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky and ABC's Lama Hassan for more. Lama, what's the latest on how this happened?
Yeah, hey, Diane. So we know that an urgent investigation is underway. The Mannheim police have just given an update. They confirmed that there is only one suspect involved in their investigation. They've arrested this suspect. There is no evidence that a second person or more people were involved. Police have not confirmed if today's incident was a deliberate attack or an accident. They also say at this point, Diane, there is no danger to the public.
And Aaron, police there are still working to determine the motive behind this attack. But law enforcement, both in the U.S. and in Europe, have been on high alert for terrorism amid the start of Ramadan. So how are law enforcement officials reacting to this?
They know that from 2 things. One is past practice. We have seen this before, not only in Germany, but elsewhere in Europe and in the United States. Look no further than New Orleans for a vehicle ramming attack. But then also the increased chatter online that intelligence officials say they've picked up of late, specifically saying that Ramadan could be a time for attack. Those 2 factors together have both the Department of Homeland Security and police agencies like the NYPD warning law enforcement that this is a particularly dangerous time.
And Aaron, we've seen a number of car attacks in Germany, at least 2 in the last 3 weeks.
It's been happening all often, over and over, and people don't want to pay attention. People like, well, this and that, what about Drake and stuff? Okay, well, you want to sit out there and do nonsense and talk about garbage? Okay, well, there you go.
3 months. What do you make of that?
It continues to be, law enforcement officials say, a preferred tactic because it's relatively easy. You can do an awful lot of damage, as Lama reports to us, through very simple means. It's preventable by putting large sanitation trucks in some cases along streets, but sometimes police just aren't prepared because they don't think it's possible in a particular place or location. We've seen far too often that it is.
And Lama, what's the latest on the injured victims and their conditions?
Yeah, we're hearing quite alarming details, Diane. A Mannheim University Hospital official has told us that the ICU is now full with what they are calling critical cases. They're trying to make more room in the ICU to accommodate the number of injured. We understand that there are several injured. We don't have the exact number right now. The hospital has been preparing for a mass casualty incident, activating its emergency plan. The hospital has received both adults and children, again, some in critical condition, Diane.
All right, Lama Hassan, Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky, thank you both.
There you go. So
some surprising.
Now I don't want my people to you know what? No, that's not the video. That's there you go. No, that's not the video I'm looking for. Oh boy, where is it? All right. Okay, where is it? Yes. You know what? I would have taken this. Oh, Al Jazeera is good. Let's watch this one. This is more of on the other side of the world. Okay, Alfred.
Winds of up to 100 kilometres an hour have created huge swells along Australia's Gold Coast. This region is expected to bear the brunt of Cyclone Alfred.
Over the time that we've been living here, which
again, just a reminder, the word cyclone mean hurricane, okay? That's all. They just call it cyclone in this other part or whatever that is.
Last 15 years, probably no. This is the worst it's ever been.
The tropical storm is tracking slowly towards southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales and is expected to make landfall on Saturday.
Large swells and powerful waves have been observed along the Queensland coast for several days now, with severe coastal erosion and inundation happening. This will continue and likely get worse as the system approaches and makes landfall.
Shops and schools are closed and public transport has been suspended. Tens of thousands of properties lost power on Friday. People living in low-lying areas are sandbagging their homes in preparation for the cyclone's arrival.
We basically just pulled all the furniture out of the restaurant. We're going to sandbag all the doorways and everything like that, try and prepare for a tidal surge and then just hope for the best.
Brisbane is home to 2.5 million people and is the third most populous city in Australia. The last cyclone to hit the city was more than 50 years ago.
You will experience at least one of those key 4 challenges: waves, wind, rainfall and/or flooding. And it's important that Queenslanders prepare for that.
A message not lost on those.
As you can see, this is worldwide, man. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, like worse and worse, to a point that, you see, they don't say, okay, well, you know, this thing happened, 1, 2, 3% was injured. Now, the report gonna come out, say the entire town of this is submerged. There's no survivor, just like Asheville. Well, they're going to hide it. They're going to do the best they can do to hide it because, you know, the whole Asheville thing, a lot of stuff went down. A lot of people, a lot of looting, man. A lot of looting and grifter, man. The grifters were all over. The grifters were all over TikTok. So, with this thing, expecting the same thing happen. A hell of a lot of stuff going to go and things like that. So, yeah, it's worldwide, man.
Those communities who are becoming all too familiar with large-scale flood events. The Bureau of Meteorology has described Cyclone Alfred as an evolving situation. It's changed paths a number of times over recent days. Authorities are warning the millions of people in the storm's path to be prepared for storm surges, flash flooding and strong winds.
My message to people, whether they be in southeast Queensland or northern New South Wales, is we are there to support you. We have your back.
The Prime Minister also says the military is on stand.
Those little sandpack, none of those things will do or can do anything, man. You are facing the force of nature, you know. You can't it won't work.
South Carolina is under a state of emergency because of...
Okay, this was the wildfire over there in South Carolina, right? South and North Carolina a couple of days ago, which is still going on. And there's a wildfire in Japan. I believe we'll take that after that.
A slew of wildfires.
Nearly 200 of them erupted over the weekend, but that number is much smaller this morning. ABC's Andrew Dimbert explains.
This morning, a wildfire emergency in the southeast. Firefighters battling at least 175 wildfires across South and North Carolina, prompting evacuation orders in both states.
Oh, you could smell the smoke all the way in Columbus.
One of the biggest fires threatening communities near Myrtle Beach. South Carolina National Guard deploying 2 Black Hawk helicopters to help fight the flames. After doubling in size over the weekend, the fire near Myrtle Beach was 30% contained overnight, allowing some residents to return.
This whole area was on fire.
Whole area, yes. Wow. And then it came up to the row of trees here, and that's when I abandoned my hose.
Dry and windy conditions are fueling the fast-moving wildfires, as much of the southeast is in moderate drought.
So that wind is what started it, and start one fire and just kept going and going and going, just catching everywhere, like all.
Now, this is not something you want to go through. And again, those folks are not accustomed to things like that. They never went through it. They watch Californian, so Southern California or Northern, wherever that thing is going in California, and they will repeat after their leaders. So, well, the reason why the fires happen because you guys don't rake your forest. You don't rake your forest. The reason why this happened because you guys don't do this. You don't manage your forest. You guys are arsonists and things like that and stuff up until it happened to them. So they are stressful, man. And again, when you go through things like that, though your house is not burned, your house is fine, but there is a damage. There's a damage to you. There's a damage to whatever, your nerve system, okay, your PTSD, because a lot of people in North Carolina, especially the Asheville area, they are still suffering from PTSD, man. You know, after the flood and then the hurricane and then now you got wildfire, man. You know, this is a horrible thing, but hey, there's nothing they can do about it until all of them are completely off the land or worldwide. And it's only getting worse. It will never get better.
All the woods behind us.
And how close did you see those flames? How
right
close did
here,
it get?
right there, right there. See right there?
Officials in the fire zone warn the dry conditions will remain today before much needed rain tomorrow and Wednesday. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
So far, no buildings have been destroyed in these fires and no injuries have been reported.
Well, that was 4 days ago. They didn't, advise that. They didn't even do this, okay? Wildfire recovery. Okay, let's watch a minute out of that. See.
It's wildfire season in the South, and the season has already showed us what could happen. Look no further than the Carolinas just this past weekend, right? Leftover debris, downed timber could act as that fuel to the flames. We welcome in this morning Mars Hills, North Carolina resident Chandler Smith. Chandler, good morning to you. It's almost like everywhere you turn, there's trouble. Winter.
There you go. There you go. Again, beloved, we are not the only one. Let me enlarge this right quick so you guys can see it. We are not the only one that see this. Look at her eyes. Those people are tired. They are hurt everywhere they turn, everywhere they look, everything they do, it's against them. And a lot of them are asking, what the hell is going on? What's happening? What is this? Well, you guys know here well what's going on.
Was notably brutal, cold temperatures in western North Carolina, the flames. We welcome in this morning Mars Hills, North Carolina resident Chandler Smith. Chandler, good morning to you. It's almost like everywhere you turn, there's trouble. Winter was notably brutal, cold temperatures in western North Carolina. You all had to deal with snow as this cleanup continued. Now we have these fires in the Carolinas this past weekend. Have you noticed a push to get some of these areas cleaned up faster as a result of those fires?
Yeah, I think all of our recovery resources in terms of cleaning things up quicker have been tapped at this point, just because, you know, we're still dealing with the critical infrastructure of our roads and our towns that was damaged. So this is kind of one of those things that I'm not going to say was neglected, but just sort of fell by the wayside in the wake of this sort of unexpected weather anomaly here.
Oh crap! Did I been? Oh man, how long I've been talking? Oh good lord! Oh good god! How long I've been talking like this? Is it? Oh. Oh boy. I'm gonna stop. How long I've been talking this thing is not recording. Did oh man. I don't know if that thing was recorded. Is it? Oh boy. Oh man. I this is why I don't like doing those research trouble when I'm tired. So that thing wasn't recording at all. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, Chandler, was that there was a lot of debris left on the ground after Helene, so everything drying up, the trees that had been knocked down, and it is an expansive area, and I'm sure the task for cleaning it up has been overwhelming at times, but we have seen signs of progress. Can you speak specifically to where your home was, how you were impacted with specifically the flooding, and what it is now today? What has been the progress, if any?
Yeah, so I'm in Madison County, North Carolina, which comprises of 3 little towns: Hot Springs, Marshall, and Mars Hill. Hot Springs and Marshall have been wiped off the map. I mean, flooding, damage like you couldn't believe. Our little town here in Mars Hill, because
done.
We're farther away from the.
So again, those people are telling you the truth. They just telling you everything is gone. And they are finding out right now, the delicate part of it, that this is exactly what we said. When we say things, people don't believe you. Though they see the damage, they still like, you are lying. You did this to yourself. Like, yo, I'm not lying, man. There's a lot of damage here. And then those people act like they're like, there were never an hurricane over there. What is it, sweetie? Okay? It's done. So the debris and the destruction left by the Helene did this. Okay, well, I don't know how long I've been talking with that thing not, recorded. I don't know.
Rivers. We dealt with a lot of flooding, but our main issue here was wind and mudslide damage. So on my tract here, I manage a large tract of acreage. It's about 200 acres, predominantly timberland, old growth timber. And so for us here on our farm, it was just a particularly devastating windstorm. We lost a lot of valuable timber, and a lot of timber that is older than any human alive. And so we never like to see something like that happen. That being said, it seems foolish to even be concerned about that, considering the fact that
yeah, because now it's your fault. So now you're not telling yourself that, well, we should have raked the forest, we should have cleaned all those debris, so and things like that. Now you see how when things is on your side, when things happen to you, so you're like, well, this will be foolish to say, well, we should have cleaned this up. Well, you should. I mean, you guys never take into consideration, you never show any empathy to the people that this thing happened. You're like, okay, some stuff would have happened and prevent them. Their family members, a loss of loved one, certain things, flooding could have happened and stuff like that. Up until when it's happened to you, now we don't need to talk about, well, we should have had this thing raked and taken care of and managed and stuff like that because, well, it was a natural disaster. Yeah, well, up until now, this is the delicate stage of finding out.
Historical towns right on the French Broad have just been wiped away, and frankly, I'm sure that we'll be able to recover them, but I'm not quite sure what that looks like.
No, you will not. This is not something that you can recover. There are certain injury you can never come back from it. You can never recover. Certain injury that are inflicted upon the soul, the mind, and the body cannot recover. Never.
In the months and years moving forward. And to add insult to injury, now we have all this tinder on the ground and high winds and no rain. So
that's what's Chandler, so life-changing about floods, because
look at her.
memories,
really
history
tired.
just washed away in a matter of minutes. But the amount of work to just get back to normal can take years. Anyone who lives along rivers that deal with that can understand. But what happened in western North Carolina was different because of how ferocious the water rushed in. So I guess that's what brings us to this wildfire season. And we know the Carolinas can dry out. You do have a wildfire season to pay attention.
Well, that's the thing. No, the Carolinas, they are those are dry, those are wet state. Okay, those are wet state. This is not something. If they had a wildfire, it usually confined to a certain area, but not 175 of them scattered throughout the states, man. Come on, dog.
Attention to. How would you describe that season so far this year, especially the fact that you manage those hundreds of acres of timber? Is this a concern around this time every year? Has it been more of a concern this year?
Yeah, it's always something that's in the forefront of my mind. This is a family. This is a family farm. It's been in the family for 6 generations. So we never want to see anything like that happen. It's always something that we're proactively trying to avoid. But I spoke with one of your producers about a month back, and I said in that moment that after all of the hurricane craziness, this was my primary concern, was the wildfires. If you look at what happened in eastern Tennessee several years ago, we haven't quite hit that level of craziness yet, but it's just 1 or 2 dry days away from an issue that that might look similar to that one. So for us, yeah, I mean it's definitely been it has definitely been one of a kind fire season this year.
And there's more to come. All right, let's close with the last one.
A very busy day as powerful winds are wreaking havoc for anyone outside right now. Couple that with all the dry conditions, and it's been the perfect storm for brush fires, prompting evacuations and fears as those fires get closer to homes. Glad you're with us today. We do have live team coverage from that large brush fire in southeast Bexar County. We start tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Suchan, who has the very latest on the windy conditions outside. Such?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the headlines right now, Jonathan, is the thick dust that is in our skies. In fact, let's see if we could we have a camera view here from just outside of our station on 410 in Babcock. If we could take that view there, showing you what the skies look like. Well, there it is, you can see. That's what motorists are dealing with right now. You see how the horizon line is really cut back on the visibility. I mean, it feels like a scene from the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome out there right now. It's like a science fiction sky in San Antonio. Across our 4 zones, let me show you what it looks like. Here again, you can see San Antonio looking to the northeast. Notice how the horizon line is obscured. Kerrville, there you see that filtered sunshine through that murky sky. Uvalde as well. And it's in the process of coming into our eastern zone. So this is a look at a high-res satellite imagery. You can see this big, thick plume, winds launching the dust from West Texas and carrying it right into our skies. And there's more to come through this evening. You see how there's still a steady plume of it to move through. It's not an issue for motorists, but it is an air quality issue. Those that are perhaps a little sensitive to some of the dust particulates that do settle, right now we're code orange with our air quality levels. Winds are still gusting over 40 miles an hour. The humidity is still very low, so fire weather continues in our area. The winds will weaken. After about 6 o'clock, it'll become more of just a breeze. Skies are clear, but we'll continue to have dust right through 8, 9 o'clock. Jonathan?
All right, quite the scene out there, Chris. Thank you, sir. The largest brush fire that we've been monitoring for you all day out near I-37 and Southton Road. That's going to be in southeast Bexar County, and that is where we find News 4 San Antonio's Stephanie Esquivel, who joins us with more. Steph?
All right, well, there you go. So Jonathan, there you go, man. This is San Antonio, and this is not things that happened years ago. There you go. Okay, a few days ago, March 4th, and beloved, I'm so sorry if this thing just recorded now, because sometime, oh boy, because sometime I ask if that thing recorded, and sometime it is not. Oh boy, that's gonna be bad. I don't want to redo this because I'm already sleepy, or I can do it and publish it tomorrow. And for those of you who may not know, the album is there. Okay, it's published. All right, let's look up for the album. Oops. Sweetie, you all right? Okay. Big Levi, the Sacrament album. Big Levi, the Sacrament. There we go. The Sacrament is everywhere. Okay, it's on Apple Music. Okay, it's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. You can go listen it for free on Spotify. It's close like that. Okay, it's everywhere. Okay, it's everywhere. Well, except on CDs and physical things. Verified artists. I don't know why they put this picture here, but that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, we give the Holy One great praise, great glory. We say shalom, and we will see you guys whenever the Mighty One says so. Okay. Be at peace. There'll be no Jacob's trouble.